Hello, everybody. My name's Cody Spurlock, and before we begin, I know what you're wondering. Why am I wearing a suit? Well, it's because it is currently Spirit Week here at NHS, and today's Dress to Impress, so hopefully I've impressed you. But now we're going to kind of get into it and try to find out what's special about Macy. So, Macy, what makes you special?
I'm not sure if anything does make me special. I think I'm just average.
Average?
So,
Well, I don't believe that. So let's start talking, about you and then try to figure out, what makes it special. What makes you special. So, Macy, how long have you been going here to NHS?
To the high school, this is my third year.
And you took a break from us,
I did.
right?
Yeah.
Where did you end up going?
I went into the Spring Hill district up by the Kansas City area last year for my junior year. My family decided to move to that area, and it was the closest school to my house, so I just decided to go there, and that's where I was for a year.
All right, and now you're back, and what brought you back to Nickerson?
Honestly, the familiarity of everybody. I've known most of these people since 7th grade. A lot of the teachers since freshman year, the building since freshman year. I really wasn't ready to commit to knowing new people, making new friend groups, getting invested in a whole new school for 2 years of high school, the last 2 years of high school. And I had a lot of friends here that I really liked, so I came back for them, and I also like the small size. The small size makes everything a lot more manageable. You lose out on some opportunities that bigger schools have, but I think, in my opinion, it makes up for it with the small size and the community feel of everything.
And that's something I love to talk about is just the difference between big schools and small schools. And we're kind of in the middle, but we're a small school at the end of the day. School about 300 kids, and you talk a lot about some of the friends you have here, and and the community that we have here, and how that brought you back. And that's one of my favorite things about the school as well. Like, I couldn't see myself going to other places because at the end of the day, I'm a Nickerson Panther, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to come back here. What was your school up in Kansas City like?
It was about 4 times the size. So the size of our school was very small compared to their school. So they had a little under 1,000 students, and a little. So the size of our whole school was the size of about a class there. So that kind of puts it into perspective. They had, like I was saying, a lot of opportunities, a lot of different programs. But at the end of the day, I chose here. So, yeah, it was just it was a small town school, but it was still massive somehow.
Yeah. And while you've been at Nickerson, what are some of the things that you've done?
At Nickerson, so freshman year with sports, I did not start off strong, but through sophomore and senior year, I played tennis. I loved playing tennis. I've grown a lot of friends through that. I've been in FBLA. I'm going on 2 years. I went to state my first year and sophomore year. That was really exciting. Band has always been great. I did an alternative program at Spring Hill last year. Didn't like that, but I've always loved it here, and marching band especially has been really fun. So I've gotten to grow with those people there through all 4 years. That's been great.
And you play the saxophone, right?
I do. I play alto saxophone since 5th grade.
What made you pick such an instrument?
Well, I think about that sometimes with especially with marching band. Back when I first started in elementary school, I picked it because my dad played it, and it just seemed like a very in the middle, not too big, not too small. Had a lot of melody lines, but also the background noise as well, and a lot of your typical piece of music. It's not too hard. It's not too easy.
What chair are you in our band.
I am first chair right
You're
now.
first chair out of our saxophones. That's impressive, right?
Thank you.
So, I always think the saxophones kind of have it a little easy, just because you guys don't have to worry about finger placing as much.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always been envious of the fact that you guys don't squeak like clarinets do.
Yeah, the clarinets. Mm-hmm.
And I could never play saxophone. I tried once, didn't work out for me. And so you're now here playing first chair saxophone, and is that something that you're looking into doing maybe after high school?
Depending on the college I go to, that'll kind of decide whether I will pursue a band activity in college. I always want to keep it in my life. Maybe not always like super professional, and that's probably not going to be my career. But probably maybe in college, at least marching band, and then it'll always just be a skill I have. So, and just
What colleges are you looking at?
Right now, I've narrowed it down to 3, which are Fort Hays State, Wichita State, and K-State.
Oh, see, I'm a K-State fan,
Mm-hmm.
but my mom, my grandma, and a bunch of my family went to Wichita,
Mm-hmm.
and then we've had a lot of Nickerson students, and from the Nickerson band specifically, go on and play at Fort Hays, and go, or at least go to Fort Hays. Like we have Mario and Maisha who are at Fort Hays now, so I've heard a lot of good things about all 3 of those colleges. Are you when you say, depending on some of the colleges, like if you went to like K-State, would you try to be a part of their marching band?
They have a really massive band, and going back to the school things, I just don't feel as successful and comfortable in larger environments. So that would probably be a no. There's always some crazy chance that it might happen, but yeah. So.
And honestly, no matter where you go, pep band is just a different environment. Mm-hmm. I mean, you got to be all hype. We could be losing by 100 points. It doesn't matter. We'll still be playing war up in the stands. It does. That's my favorite part about pep band is as the energy stays up, no matter what's happening on the field. And when the energy on the field is up, pep band is just thriving even more. Yeah. So we win. Pep band wins. We lose. Pep band is still winning. Yeah. So that's probably one of my favorite things about pep band in general. And Fort Hays, Wichita, and K-State all have these really nice, like K-State's, for example, marching band program. Heard a lot of good things about it. Same thing about Fort Hays. They also host the competition that we go to. So it'd be relatively familiar territory there.
It'd be a great introduction that we've had throughout the years.
So no matter what you decide, pep band is always one of those like just high energy, fun things. And you mentioned him a bit earlier, but your dad, he used to work in district, right?
He did. He worked at the middle school. He was an art teacher. He did all the art classes for 7th and 8th grade. Yeah,
what was it like going through middle school with your dad teaching?
It was kind of interesting. A lot of my classmates handled it a little on the worse side than I did. They always came up to me and felt like I was responsible for my dad's actions, or specific classmate that shall not be named also was a little on the inappropriate side with their attractiveness to my dad. I don't even know, but
I mean, Mr. Wiedeman, not bad looking dude. Probably a little weird though to have your friends in middle school talk about
my age. Tell me, yeah.
Was it did you ever take advantage of the fact that your dad was a teacher? You ever get him to go into power school, fudge a little numbers?
I did not.
Yeah.
One of my worst fears is getting in trouble, so that's a no. But it was really nice because I could go home, even in high school still, I could go home, take home any art project, and he could help me figure it out. And even just like crafty projects on the side, he could at least get me a good start of anything I've ever wanted to try. And even with life in general, he's very helpful with getting me started or getting me in the right direction or redirecting me there and helping me out. So, yeah, he's just been really helpful over the years.
And then not only did you, go to school with your dad when he taught in the middle school, but you also had an older brother who went to the high school for one of the years, right?
Yes.
What was that like, having an older brother who went here?
So he was a senior when I was a freshman. That year he was very looking towards the future, looking for college classes. He did not take almost any classes from NHS on campus here, so he was gone a lot, but also just not in the actual sense of where he was, but teachers often knew me before I knew them. So I was always Isaac's little sister for a long, long time. I'm glad I've kind of grown out of that. It still comes up every once in a while, but that was mostly the whole experience, especially freshman year and going into all those new classes and everything. But it was nice, again, to have somebody who knew what they were doing and who had very recently gone through the exact same process and could tell me exactly how to do it well and tell me what mistakes not to make.
So, your freshman year with him being a senior, you got to watch him do some cool things too, right? Mm-hmm. He was on the homecoming court for the winter homecoming, and then wasn't he prom king?
He
right?
was. Mm-hmm.
So was that also kind of cool to get to see it now, and then are now also on the winter homecoming court 4 years later.
Yeah, it was really cool to see how he accomplished so much. I had always been accustomed to just who he was and what he had done as a person, but now that I've kind of seen like other people live their high school careers, and now that I'm attempting to be almost as good as him, it seems that he was actually a lot better at everything that he did than I ever thought he was, just because I have that different perspective now. But it was really cool to see him achieve a lot in high school, especially that second semester. He, like you said, he was on court. He prom king, student of the year, or all-around boy.
All-around boy? He was an all-around boy that year?
Yeah,
and,
that's really impressive. So.
And, we talked about some of his accomplishments, you getting to watch that happen, and getting to watch your siblings succeed is always, always a fun thing to do. But, some parallels, right? You're going to be on the court this Friday for our homecoming game, 4 years after your brother, and you win this one, you got a little notch over him. You could take that up at family dinners, be like, yeah, well, this time I won. So is that something that you're looking forward to, maybe interested in winning maybe the homecoming?
I am interested in winning, of course, just because I don't think many people would not be in that competitive spirit. But I feel my competitors have a lot of edge on me, especially not being here last year. But also Isaac does as well. Unless I go 3 for 3, I'm not confident I can brag about just one win.
we talk about the competitive side of homecoming, but a big part of it is just being a part of it, right? Mm-hmm. Like it's a fun process to do. I was on the court earlier in the year, and just the slideshows, getting to put pictures of your friends. Obviously, with my slideshow, I try to make it as funny as possible, and so is that kind of another part of the homecoming that you're looking forward to, and then some that you're already getting to experience?
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's exciting to be on court. It's a whole nother experience that I personally never thought I would experience. The actual process of this whole 2 weeks from the first Monday to Friday homecoming has been more of an experience than I think just walking up there winning a crown would ever be.
Yeah.
So I think it's just been fun to take pictures, be on court, the slideshow, and grand entrance of the candidates event during seminar Friday will be fun as well.
And then you mentioned taking pictures, and that's something that you also do here at NHS, is take pictures. How did you get into some of the photography?
So I want to say the first thing I ever took pictures of was very early in high school, it was after prom. I had been in one of Miss Stout's classes. I was in PantherTV. We didn't really do too much on the photography side. She leaves a lot of that to her yearbookers. And she was just asking for people to take after prom. And Kyla Hamby, who was a friend and a classmate at that point, was also going to. And I felt comfortable because I knew her, and it was a really fun event to take pictures of. And then I just completely fell in love with it. Taking pictures at events is a great way to be at events without feeling like awkward or out of place, especially for me. I love taking pictures places because it's a great excuse just to be there and to be productive as well.
And you also took pictures this year at the homecoming dance earlier this year, right?
I did. A couple of the big events I've taken pictures at this year are the musical homecoming, the beginning of school dance. Those have been really fun, especially dances. I've never particularly loved them, but being able to take pictures at them just makes it so much more fun to talk to people and be able to take pictures for people is also a great experience.
I bring this up partially because, when I'm scrolling through pictures, looking at stuff, some of my best pictures are pictures that are in your albums. So, thank you for the musical. You got some good ones.
It's really fun.
But is yearbook and photography something that you might also be looking at doing outside of high school?
Yes, I think it'll also be kind of like band and playing my instrument. It will also be a skill that I will never lose and always have. My dad is, again, also a really big photographer. He has been a professional photographer since the beginning of my life, at least. He has always taken pictures of family and downloaded them, and he edits a lot of pictures. And just seeing how he can work that into his life has inspired me to become somebody who is good at something enough to do it for essentially the rest of their lives. So, yeah, I think just taking pictures of fun events is mostly what I love doing the most.
And then, looking beyond college and high school, what is it that you want to do?
That is a great question. I've thought about many things. I'm not settled on one, though, so I'm a very artsy person. I love crafting, painting, all the art classes. I've probably taken them here. So something along those lines. I've looked into things like interior design, architecture, a lot of design aspects, but I'm not sure right now. So.
And that's where me and you have a difference. I am not a very artsy person. I've taken pictures here, and I do some of the yearbooks just starting really this year, but I haven't taken a single art class since I took your dad's in 8th grade. That beginning of my 8th grade year. So art and I have never gotten along very well. Because apparently scribbling on a piece of paper doesn't count as a contour. And so I remember back in 8th grade struggling with even the basic of art. So I always find it very impressive when other people are able to put their skills to use and translate it into creating a piece or taking pictures and stuff. And my pictures, they're hit or miss. Yeah. My pictures are hit or miss. They're either pretty good, or they're pretty bad.
Yeah.
So I always find it impressive when other people are able to really show, how much skill really goes into doing something that may seem simple, like taking a picture, but there's really it's an own art form of getting the right shot and then going in and editing it, making it look the best it can be to really capture the moment. So it'd be cool, seeing some of your photography even in the future, and then beyond some of your beyond high school and stuff. Do you have any other hobbies that you like to pursue?
Tennis has become a big one over high school. One of my friends convinced me to join the fall sporting season sophomore year instead of managing volleyball. And it was a really good choice that I was convinced to make. It'll be one of those things that will help me stay healthy for years and years and years in a really, really fun way that I really enjoy doing.
Which one of your friends convinced you to join tennis?
That'd be Rhea Shaw.
Rhea Shaw. Yeah.
Joined freshman year because her brother had played and just wanted to try it out. And then she really loved it. She found some great friends that I later found some great friends as well in tennis. And then we did it together, and it was a great time.
You know, Rhea has a way of managing to convince people to join activities and whatnot. I mean, for example, FBLA, I joined because she told me that I'd be good at it. And she was right. Wrong? She was right. So she has a way of kind of introducing people to different events and sports, and it's cool to see that tennis. I think there's going to be a men's tennis team. I won't be joining, but it's cool to see some of the other sports in NHS kind of grow, because tennis has grown quite a bit over the past few years.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
A lot of kids have been drawn to it. And then, if you look back at Nickerson, history, we used to really make a splash in tennis back in the day when we had those state champs and whatnot.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's always interesting looking back at the records and being like, oh, baseball, tennis? Mm-hmm. Tennis? And it's, it's always a cool thing. So, kind of rebuilding some of the legacy that was kind of lost over the years with the new tennis team. And also it's just a great time to have fun, get closer with teammates. So that's also an interesting part of Nickerson is being able to do several different clubs and activities. You do band, you're in yearbook, PantherTV, you with tennis and some other things. It's always cool to see how small schools like this are able to allow so many different opportunities, even though they may not be as big or glamorous as some of the opportunities and sheer number of opportunities big schools have. It's in small schools, it's almost like you're able to take advantage of more
for sure, yeah.
than in larger schools where you may only be able to do one or two events. So that's pretty cool that you've been able to do all of that. And we've talked about yearbook a little bit, but you've been a pretty big player in the yearbook this year, right? What position?
So I am a chief editor. So me and Emily, we work together on a lot of the big stuff. She does more of the templates and in the yearbook design, and then I work a lot with the actual photography, camera taking, people checking out cameras, taking pictures to get those into the yearbook.
So what you're saying is if there's any mistakes in the yearbook, blame Emily?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. I'll make sure to do that. Obviously, of course, with this year's class, there won't be any mistakes in the yearbook. But another interesting, special part, about what you've been able to do here at NHS. And you said you were an average person. And it wasn't anything special. And I disagree, right? I mean, and throughout our conversation, we talk about the different things you've done. How many people, do you know that, play tennis, do art, as an editor-in-chief of the yearbook? How many people do you know that do all the amount of things that you do and then are successful at them as well? And so, what I think is special, about you is the fact that you bring a lot of unique perspectives into our school and to our community. You've been able to go to a big school, see kind of how that works, and then say, no, I prefer Nickerson. Yeah. So, you're one of the people who actively chose to come back after leaving. And, not a lot of people have that perspective looking into things. So, and what's special about our community in general is we have individuals like you, right, who have all these unique perspectives, who have all these unique skill sets, and we all can come together and kind of share in those. So, what's special about you is just your unique perspectives throughout the things that you've been able to do here at NHS, and you talk about some of the perspectives that you gain from having, your dad who's an art teacher, and how, with the photography there, and, even having a brother who's kind of, who made his own path throughout high school, and you've been able to make your own path as well. You mentioned earlier how a lot of times you were called Isaac's sister.
Mm-hmm.
Probably doesn't happen very much anymore. I mean, Isaac's, it's been about 4 years. None of these underclassmen and know who he is, which, to me is weird, because he was such a, he was like a major guy when I was a freshman,
sure.
but really been kind of able to carve your own paths, and now you're Macy, not Isaac's little sister.
I get a name.
And then with the homecoming court, I think that's also another special thing, because I think the people who often get put onto the court are people who the students recognize as special people, as kind people. And then, I mean, that's what it takes. You gotta be able to be likable. You gotta be a nice person.
Yeah.
And so, like, all these unique perspectives that you bring, along with, how you've been able to, even with leaving a year, still be recognized as one of these special people within our class. I think that really kind of brings to light, what makes our school so unique, and what makes our community so unique. So, thank you for having this conversation with me today. I think we were able to find out what makes Macy Wiedeman special. Do you agree?
I agree.
All right. So thank you all for listening. We'll have more episodes later today, and then a couple more throughout the week. So thank you for tuning in, and I'll catch you next time.